Hey everyone, I'm doing my John Maxwell for today. So I'm focusing on leadership and also a leader's heart. And the message for today is let God use your strengths. So often in companies, in organizations, in different places, people will focus on our weaknesses instead of our strengths. And by focusing on those weaknesses, they're not helping us to succeed, and they're also not helping the company, because if you keep putting somebody in a place where they're continually getting hurt, they're not flourishing, they're not getting an income, they're not getting to the top and taking others with them, then obviously we're going to have the situations we have now. We're going to have flat organizations, no wage increases, no middle class. You're just going to have the very rich and the very poor. So today's scripture is all about focusing on letting God use your strengths, and it's Acts 9:22. But Saul increased all the more in strength and confounded the Jews, proving that this is Jesus the Christ, So all of the significant battles that we wage within ourselves. Our mindset, how we are feeling, what we are doing, we wage those within ourselves, because it's easier to give up than to persevere, to carry on, to keep taking the steps forward so that we can create good lives. To do that, we have to do things like journal, so that we can look at how we are changing and see ourselves. We have to know where our strengths and weaknesses are, so that we can know how to approach things and discover our strengths joyfully. Because if we're not discovering our strengths, we're not looking at where we need to move into. Where is it that we are going to be able to shine, and by shining bring that glory to the Lord, and also lift up our organizations. And we need to build on those strengths passionately. So John Maxwell tells us you can reach your potential today if you dedicate yourself to growth today. Remember, to change your world, you must first change yourself. And that's very true of our lives. In order to change our world, we need to change ourselves. So this is from the leader's heart. And for today, what I did was I looked at leadership, and John Maxwell in there gives examples of who were the firsts in his life. So you can do this as well. You can write down who were the firsts in your life. So my first teacher that encouraged me was Mrs. Gordon in Russell School. That was after nursery school. She was a very gentle teacher with me, and she's somebody I remember as encouraging me. The first to believe I could run a company and do well was Mr. Brown. He was my boss at Sable Chemicals. He was the first in the business community to encourage me to go and study and get a degree and travel and see the world. I was his executive assistant, and he was a general manager for Sable Chemicals in Kwekwe. I worked with him very closely, and we enjoyed each other's company. We were very close. He used to make me laugh, and he took care of me. So Zimbabwe is very different to here. Over there we have somebody, well, not that different, I guess, if you're an executive working at the executive level, because we had people who used to bring us our coffee and tea and used to go and get our lunch for us, take care of us. So I was a true executive assistant to him. I didn't go and get his coffees and teas. We had a kitchen, we had somebody taking care of the catering, and they would bring us our coffees and teas. And he would drop me home in his Mercedes-Benz sometimes when he was going our way, because he lived behind us. So he was the one who believed in me in the business community and encouraged me to go and study. And I was his PA. And then nursery school, it was Mrs. Hageman. She was the first teacher I had who helped me to adjust to integration with all the races. Because we grew up in a segregated society, it wasn't easy. I had a lot of fear of the whites, and I had a lot of fear of integrating with them. But they came to our houses. They came, my grandfather used to invite them. And I was still very wary of them because of the police brutality and what I saw the police doing to people. But Mrs. Hagerman was the one. She used to coax me out and bring me into the class, and she used to get me to calm down because I hated to leave my grandparents. I was very fearful that somebody would take me. So Mrs. Hagerman did that for me, especially after my dad died. She helped me to adjust. And Mr. Hagerman was the first one who saw my gifts as a photographer. I used to get summer holiday jobs with him, and he had a studio. So I used to help him to develop the photographs. We used to have the old film in those days, and you had to cut the film and then develop the photographs, blow them up. So I had that wonderful experience of working with him in the studio, taking the photographs, developing them, and I wanted to become a photographer, but those opportunities never opened up for me. So now you see how I love photography. I take my photos, I play with the phone, the different settings, but that started in my childhood. And then Damien Howard, he's a Jesuit. He was the first priest to share with me that there was a calling on my life. So I never looked at my life as having a calling. I never looked at myself going into ministry or becoming a spiritual director. It was his love for me, and it was his compassion and his listening and making time for me that helped me to explore that calling. And it was right at the end of my journey with him, which is unfortunate because I never got to see him again after that and spend time with him. And if you're not spending time with people, you're losing out, because it's an important part of life to spend time with people, to be with people. And social media is okay. I mean, WhatsApp and all this is okay. It helps, but it's not the same as being in the room with somebody and being able to meet them face to face. And then for my music, my piano teacher, Mrs. Fletcher, was the first person who told me I was gifted and had me play in front of an audience, and that was in junior school. So again, it was her encouragement, encouraging me to be courageous, not to be afraid, and giving me goals to aim for. Because with each level of music, unless I played in front of an audience, Mrs. Fletcher was not willing to take me to the next level. So I practiced every day, and I went for classes once a week. My grandparents paid for those music classes because that's what I wanted to do. And so she was the first person that saw my giftedness with music. And my grandparents were the first people who loved me unconditionally and enjoyed me. So there's a lot of people in my life, but they're always full of criticism, always telling me what I'm not doing, how I should dress. I'm a problem for them. So I just stay away now. They won't miss me because I'm the problem for them. But my grandparents enjoyed me. They used to laugh with me, joke with me. I did a lot for them growing up, and they did a lot for me, but I was there for them in their sickness, in their health. I took care of them. And Damien Howard was also the first person to tell me my future held great promise and I could teach others. So that's why I was saying I wish I could go back to spend some time with him, because if you don't have anybody to guide you, to help you, to see, okay, how can you do this? How can you go about achieving this? You're not going to fulfill that dream, because you're like doing it on your own. It's very difficult. So I have the John Maxwell now, which is nice for me, and I'm taking others with me by putting this post up, by sharing how I've done it, by telling people. But that's not the same as if you want to go and teach in a Catholic school or a Catholic education system. I have the degree already to do it, but I don't have anybody opening those doors for me to get me into a college to teach, to show me how they structure the courses, why they do it a certain way, how to go about it. So for me, I'm doing my John Maxwell. But Catholic education is different, and I'm not looking to work with children. I'm looking to work in the adult education space like I'm doing it for my John Maxwell. So I do reach out to the colleges here. I reached out to Regis College. I've told them what I'd like to do. And that's all I can do, because you need somebody to come alongside you and say, okay, this is how you can go about it, or this is what you can do. So I've taken my steps, and it's about planting those seeds, because if people don't know what I want to do, they can't help me to get there. And from what I hear from the sisters and other people, there's a great need for people who want to become teachers, who want to go into Catholic education and the university settings. So I have to leave it with them, and I have to carry on doing what I can on my end. In this leadership chapter that I read, John Maxwell is encouraging us, go slower so you can go further. So I've always had these skills that I have now. I graduated in 2011. I wasn't using social media. I wasn't posting anything on YouTube. I wasn't doing it the way I'm doing it now, because I wanted to do it alongside others in the university setting. But now that I have this John Maxwell, I'm doing it this way because that's how we are encouraged to do it. The second point is to recognize you need others. I've already covered that and touched on that. If we're living in a competitive way, we're living with a scarcity mindset. We're thinking, if I win, you have to lose. And if you win, I have to lose. It's a single-minded thinking, and it excludes others. If we are looking at things in a complementary way, we have an abundance mindset. We're thinking win-win. We have a shared way of thinking, and we include others. And a complementing culture lifts morale. That's why on a team you'll find people have different strengths, different weaknesses, and those combined skills will lead to your organization coming up. If you have a team where you don't care if somebody has, they've got church things they want to do, or family life, or health needs, and you don't care, then you're cutting down their morale, and you're basically telling them that this is the job, leave it or take it. And it's not helping your company in the end. That's why people form unions. That's why companies land up going down. Jobs get taken to South Africa. Who would want to take a company, like a successful company, who would want to take the jobs away from a first world country where you have everything available, you have the systems in place, you have educated people, you have people who know what they're doing? Who would want to take those jobs away and put them in the developing world if things were not bad in Canada? Would anybody want to do that? You wouldn't. It's not just about the profits. It's not just about cutting costs. It's about how you treat your people. And if you are mistreating your people, like I've been mistreated, then companies will want to go to places like South Africa. They'll want to go to places where, they can invest in people and people are going to be treated well and things are really going to take off. They don't want to invest in Canada if people are going to be treated badly and be mistreated like I've been, land up with health problems, not get accommodation, not be able to do the things you need to do. I mean, I get blasted if I don't arrive 15 minutes early to read at the church. But if I'm doing everything I can and I'm juggling and I'm able to get there maybe 5 minutes before or 10 minutes before, then whose fault is that? Because I'm trying to help the church. I'm getting blasted because I'm not arriving 15 minutes early. I'm not going at the back to pray with the priests. I'm not doing all those things. But I've also got a company saying, no, you can't leave early. So I just stop going. Let them all do what they want until I can get myself back into a good job and get my accommodation and work with people who are going to care about me and treat me properly. And that includes in the church. I don't have to give my time and my talents to the Catholic Church. They also need to appreciate me. It's the same thing in families, it's the same thing in communities. So he makes the point here that we make the effort to understand. We want others to shine more than we do. Want others to shine more than you do. When we teach, that's what we're doing. I'm not teaching so that I can shine. I'm teaching so that people can learn from me and develop their own skills, develop their own lives, develop their own talents. And that's the same thing I do when I'm mentoring. I'm not mentoring so people can remain jobless, remain not earning good incomes, remain not knowing how to do things for themselves. I'm mentoring so that they learn those skills and then they get the good paid jobs. But I'm mentoring, I'm teaching, but I'm not getting the financial rewards that I should do. So it's not right. And when I help others succeed, I succeed. Because of me, other people have found jobs, other people have integrated into Canada, other people are now reading in the church, other people have children who can read because I did volunteering at the Greenwood community and I read stories to children. Other people are living thriving lives because I succeeded. They are succeeding now. So there's 3 questions that I have if you want to be on my team. Do you care for me? Can I trust you? And can you help me? And if you can say yes to all those 3 things, then yes, I want you on my team. If you don't care about me and you're just wishing me well, me and my mom, like I hope things work out for you, then you don't care about me. If I can't trust you to know that when you get those opportunities coming up, when you get those good paid jobs, you're going to come to me and you're going to help me. You're going to use my skills to resolve problems in the firm, but also give me the financial rewards, then I can't trust you. If you're going to say, well, thanks for helping me, but now I don't need you anymore, so you go out, you find your own way, and I'm running this, that's not the kind of person I want to build a team with. And can you help me? Because I also need help to get to where I want to be employed, to have a thriving life. So if you're not interested in helping me, then don't come to me all the time and don't put me last when I've put you first. I want people around me who can help me turn things around, not drag me down, not use me like a resource and then throw me out onto the welfare system because now you all have what you want. So I plant seeds daily. Instead of looking for the secret sauce, I look at sowing seeds of success because that's what we are trained to do as Maxwell leaders. An example I can give is Primerica. When I did my Primerica, I didn't go out to strangers. I first talked to family and friends about it. I asked them if they were interested in the policies. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. It's not a scam. It's a funnel marketing company, an insurance company, but it's not a scam. I did the same thing with my spiritual direction. I did the same thing when I brought my mother to Canada. I didn't look after the community first and then my family. I looked after my family first, including my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother, their children, and then I looked out for the community. So I've helped my family first, and now I'm helping others and taking them with me. And if you're lonely at the top, it's a good kind of loneliness, because you don't get to the top without others. You don't get to the mountain peak without others. You don't want to stand at the top of Cape Mountain and look down on that sea and say, oh, it's beautiful, and then call down to all your friends and family and say, hey, it's nice up here, come see how beautiful it is. Who are you taking with you on your journey? Are you taking anyone? Or you're only boasting that, oh, we did well for ourselves. You are not grateful for anything we've done for you. We've got our properties. We've got our homes. We've got our waterfront properties. Is that, yeah, that's success, but is it significance? I don't think it's real success. But you don't care about me. You don't care if I land up on the welfare system. You don't care if I'm not taken care of. You don't care if I'm not able to arrive 15 minutes in time for the mass, and then I have to get blasted because I didn't arrive 15 minutes early. You don't care. So if my health is suffering, so what? Go to the hospital. So that's what's happening, not just to me, it's happening to millions of us in Canada, because you don't care. That's the problem. If you cared about me, I wouldn't be sitting at home, jobless, unemployed, not having an income. You would be opening doors for me to say, hey, I've got a niece, and you know what? She's really good. You should give her an opportunity in banking or in the education system, Catholic education system. Or, hey, you know what? I've got a colleague, she was laid off and she needs a job. I've only had one person from Teleperformance do that. Two, actually. Both my supervisors, Susan Osborne and Wael Said. They both contacted people that got jobs in retail or other places, and then they messaged me to say, Belinda, I've got a friend that got a job here, or my husband got a job here, and we've put your name forward, you can apply. They didn't call me. Those companies didn't call me. But that's what I want. I want people who care about me. I don't want the Jason Peels and the Jean de Gagnes and the Teresa Bowmans who are making their money and their lives are fine, and they're just leaving it. They don't care. Oh, that was a long time ago that you worked with us. I want people who care about me and who I know I can trust and who can help me. That's who I want on my team. I don't want people who are not going to help me and who are happy to see me sitting at home with no income while they're traveling the world, going on holidays, going to the IMC. I don't want those kind of people on my team. I want people who care about me, just the same way I cared about them. It's not about a secret sauce. It's about the seeds that we are planting.